So this is going to be a bit more improvised, even though I'm going to be talking about stuff I actually generally deal with. But before I start talking, maybe just a preliminary question. How familiar are you at all with Edinburgh School Sociology of Science? Stuff like David Bloor, Barry Barnes?
Not particularly.
Okay. So maybe I start with that. So there's this, maybe I need a, but okay, never mind. We'll just write it down and remember it.
You're muted.
Okay. So there's this guy from Edinburgh called David Bloor. He's still alive though. And in 1978 he writes this book, a book which I'm quite fond of and quite a lot of people are fond of, called Knowledge and Social Imagery. In this book, David Bloor, from a Wittgensteinian perspective, tries to formulate a certain strand of sociology of science that becomes probably the most influential sort of approach to the field for what I'm going to be talking about today. And David Bloor, a Wittgensteinian, as I said, makes his sociology of science from certain concepts, such as the concept of epistemological underdetermination. That is the fact that when you have two different observers of a certain phenomena, and then there's the phenomena, and you have two different interpretations of a phenomena, the difference between those two interpretations cannot be explained by the phenomena itself. So, in a way, the difference between the interpretation of a certain empirical phenomena between observer A and observer B is always dependent upon a certain specific conceptual framework from which the phenomena gets interpreted. The other principle David Bloor uses for his sociology of science is the principle of symmetry. The idea is that before his 1978 book, everyone who did sociology of science had this sort of approach where you would take scientific theories and you would differentiate between true scientific theories on the one hand, which whose success would be in a way self-explaining in the sense of them having access to empirical truth, while on the other hand you had failed examples of scientific theories from the history of science where you had to explain the factors that push those theories forward in certain historical configurations, such as, I don't know, the theory of phlogiston instead of oxygen and stuff like that. So there is this disparity of explanation. On the one hand, you have scientific theories that get counted as truthful, and on the other hand, you have scientific theories that get counted as untruthful, and where on the one hand, from a sociological point of view, the truthful scientific theories are not in need of any extra sociological explanations, because their being truthful is an explanation in itself for them, having a certain measure of social predominance, while on the other hand, the untruthful theories are somehow explained as some sort of social pathologies which need to be explained through certain social mechanism and so on. So what David Bloor actually does is that he posits that from the particular perspective of a sociology of knowledge, this is methodologically unsound. So if you're really trying to explain mechanisms of social dissemination of knowledge, then it is totally sociologically uninteresting, or maybe even unimportant, whether those theories are true or not, since the field you're actually studying is, I say it again, the mechanisms of dissemination of knowledge and so on. Yeah, the field initiates the so-called social studies of knowledge or strong problem and so on, becomes later on particularly interesting for a group of sociologists who in the late 80s start to apply this sort of principle to technical phenomena. You have people that in this group that are now pretty famous because of that. So on the one hand, you have people like Wiebe Bicker and Trevor Pinch, who started out with a workshop in the late 80s at the University of Twente in the Netherlands, and started a group also together with some other famous people like Bruno Latour, Michel Calon, John Law, and so on. And what they wanted to do at the beginning was apply the sort of Edinburgh School analysis not to the social creation of scientific theories, but to the social creation of artifacts, technologies, and so on. Now, David Bloor's perspective is, in a very vulgar sense of the term, a Kantian perspective. So basically, what Bloor does is that he takes some sort of empirical material and then he thinks of it as this sort of very plastic receptacle for, let's say, this wide sphere of social influence that he basically sees the outcome of scientific research as always mediated by, different interests of different groups and different already existing institutions, both scientific institutions and other institutions, political and so on. So basically, every scientific theory is an outcome of this series of social phenomena, while, let's say, the empirical material on which any sort of scientific research is based somehow, gets minimized into this sort of, blank X where, different social interests are projected into. This is putting it very vulgarly because it's a bit more complicated than that, but it will allow us to see how Wiebe Bicker does it, because this is basically how Wiebe Bicker, in a more vulgar way than Bloor does, understands the sociology of knowledge. And what he started to do in 1989 with his, in a book he edited together with Trevor Pinch and Thomas Hughes called The Social Construction of Technological Systems, is that he tried to apply this Bloorian approach to the study of social technical artifacts. So he has this example of the evolution of the bicycle in the late 19th century. And the bicycle, basically, in the years where it started to become more popular and so on, changed. Like, so you had, I don't know what's the proper term for Tolatnik, the thing that, yeah, the thing that prevents mud from, different heights of the seats, male, female bicycles, and so on. And he analyzes how there were periods where the bicycle started to become popular in different social groups, and because of this reason, different varieties of bicycles were created, and so on. So basically, how Wiebe Bicker sees technology is as the temporary end result of the compromise between different social interests that manifests itself as a technical artifact. So this basically means, as I said before, that any sort of technical artifact is some sort of compromise between purely social forces that project themselves upon materiality. This approach was criticized in a way from a group of people that were at the beginning part of this social construction of technology movement, but later, fell a bit away from it. And this is the group of people that Michel Caron, John Law, Bruno Latour that started with a theoretical approach called actor network theory. So the thing is, Latour, Calon, analyze any sort of not only artifact but entity in general. This is also a particular kind of ontology as what they would call an actor network. So the idea is that if you take any sort of entity, you can analyze it as this sort of point of convergence between a series of varied relations between entities on different scales. In the sense, okay, I use this example when I was talking to someone yesterday. So you have a cell phone. The current existence of the cell phone, it's like, you know, reproduction through time. It's minor different configurations through its development and so on, are influenced by several different factors. For example, there are, I don't know, cobalt or whatever metal mines in Congo, and you know, African slave labor being part of the system that creates this sort of artifact. Then you have, on the other hand, trends from design, you know, interests of companies that make mobile phone applications and stuff like that. So every time you have this sort of technical or basically any kind of artifact, it is always a product of a